Good afternoon, everyone. I am excited today to share our our session about artificial intelligence. So are you excited, especially for those cybersecurity leaders that is present here? So this will be a group therapy for all of us, and I hope you'll stick with me until the end. Just to give you an outline of what I will be discussing. I will be discussing some things about the way the attackers use artificial intelligence and how are we be able to provide defenders a tool wherein they can use it for defending the artificial intelligence. And later on, I'll be discussing as well, I will be showing as well some deepfake attacks. Are you familiar with deepfakes? Yes. So if you're familiar, there are so many risks that we have because of deepfakes. And because of that, we need to be aware and we need to have protection for those deepfakes in our environment. Artificial intelligence or the age of AI is actually here. And we as security leaders of our respective companies, we know that this particular emerging technology is given to us or assigned to us to figure out how are we able to see the complexity of this technology, right? And as you can see on my screen, hallucinations, deepfakes, chat GPT, large language models, and even model poisoning are some of the things that is related to artificial intelligence that we are encountering on a day-to-day basis, right? And knowing that, I know that is actually overwhelming for all of us. But once we get along and hang a bit when it comes to artificial intelligence, we know that it's actually amazing, right? So again, this session, I'll be discussing about the attacker's way of using artificial intelligence and how are we able to provide protection using artificial intelligence as well, all right? So before I move to my presentation, let me just introduce myself. I am Jessica Bernardo. You can call me Eka for short. I'm one of the pre-sales consultant from Trend Micro, and I've been with security for more than 10 years. So I've seen so much when it comes to innovation on attacks and as well as the cybersecurity realm. So let's start. We have identified risk when it comes to artificial intelligence or associated risk. So we have identified three things. One is rogue AIs, second is scaling fraud, and the third one is data privacy. So let me introduce you one by one. Rogue AI. So in rogue AI, we have identified three key things. Number one, we have what we call subverted rogues. Subverted rogues are the attackers makes use of an existing system so that they can make use of it or misuse it for their own personal gain. So example of which are prompt injection, if you're familiar with that, model poisoning, and as well as jailbreaks. So that's how they use AI when it comes to attack. Another thing that we identified is that there are also malicious rogues. Malicious rogues is attackers making use of other computing services so that they can install another artificial intelligence on those systems. So sample of which are what we call AI malware. So the malicious actor can actually identify a link, send it to the users that is using the artificial intelligence, and it actually looks like an update for that artificial intelligence. But this link is actually leading them to install another artificial intelligence that is malicious. So that's what we call malicious AI or malicious rogue. Next thing, we also have what we call accidental rogues, wherein it is created by a human error. So in your respective companies, do you have help when it comes to websites or internet help? So let's say, for example, you have somehow like us. We can query our COE or our certificate of employment. Okay? We can generate it on our own. So what are the things that is embedded on our COE? It identifies your name. It actually identifies the position that you are in right now. It identifies when are you actually associated with the company and as well as your salary. That's a good thing. You can generate your own. However, if the system that actually runs that can actually query for other users. So that's what they call accidental disclosure. So that is something that we have when it comes to accidental rogues. So again, rogues are new, but rogues is actually here now, and we need to have protection for that. Next one, the scaling fraud. So we've seen that AI is actually being used for attackers to embed solutions on their working flow. So we have identified 3 things why it is actually effective for them. The first one is automation. If we are using automation on our environment and that automation makes our life easier, the attacker make use that as well on their workflow because they also have businesses, right? So that's why one of the key things that they have when it comes to artificial intelligence is automation. The second thing is quality. As we can see, when it comes to phishing alerts and as well as business email compromise, they can now create a higher value and a higher quality when it comes to these types of attack. And lastly, translation. The reason being why they are using AI is that they can translate with other languages. So if you are attacking, let's say, other languages, then you are able to use artificial intelligence to do targeted attack. So that's why that is very effective. Another reason when it comes to scaling fraud on our artificial intelligence is that mass misinformation is being used for social networks. Before, when the account is actually compromised, they can use the account to send out bots or send out information that is fake to the contacts that it has, right? But right now, we have identified that malicious actor make use of artificial intelligence to give in a reputational damage to the interesting people or gain as well fake news. And we've seen that this one is actually being used for. So another key thing when it comes to artificial intelligence being used by the attacker is the deepfakes. So I asked you earlier if you are familiar with deepfakes. So deepfakes right now is being popularized, and so many attacks has been embedded when it comes to deepfakes. Now, I'll be sharing with you a real deepfake attack. I will walk you through on how the attackers make use of deepfakes, how they create that, and what will happen if our employee is actually not aware of that. So please. The first thing that I will do as an attacker is that I create information, I get information coming from the social media. I get information from Facebook or some information that has a video for that particular company. Then I train my model using those videos. I actually get as well audio so that I can create more granular and more effective deepfakes in my creation of video and training models. After this one, I will do a scripting wherein I will create a video that looks like real and I sync up a script and as well as the audio. So that if I use that on a live call, then that will be a real people that will be seen by my target. After that, I will create a phishing email. So I will use AI as well to create a phishing email that is, so that it is easier for me to do the attack. After that, I will now have all the information that I need. I already have a deepfake videos, I already have the script, I already have everything. Now, it's showtime.
Hey, Eric, Dale, we're pulling in Hopkins to assess the situation. Eric, what do they need to start the investigation?
We need to export all transaction data from the past 6 months. Dale, can you package this up and upload to the Hopkins private Dropbox? I'll put the link in the chat for you.
Okay, sure.
Thanks for managing. We're meeting with them in 30 minutes. They need the file in hand by then.
Okay, we need to drop to prep for the meeting. Thank you.
Okay. So how do you feel? It feels real, right? So the two videos on the top is actually a deepfake. And we have the real target on the bottom. But it actually feels real. So let's talk about what will the employee will do after having a call. So if they are not aware, then what they will do, they get all the transactions, compress it, and probably they will go back to the meeting link or the Zoom link that has been provided. And okay, the employee is now uploading it. So once this one is actually 100%, we know that the attack is actually successful. Now, let me show you how it actually happened. So first thing, they have a reconnaissance. They get information from the social media. They downloaded videos and get all the audios that they need. They create a training model. They create a customization of these deepfakes. We have the phishing email created by an artificial intelligence push the deepfake, and eventually data compromise actually been provided. The employees actually uploaded a file. But, okay, this is happening right now, and it's bad, this is happening right now, but how are we able to contradict this one? What if we have an alternative ending? What if the employee actually is aware of deepfakes and they can identify that? Let's take a look on this.
Hey, I'm a bit uncomfortable about this, and the video is looking a little weird to me. Mind turning your head from side to side so I can make sure this isn't a deepfake?
Okay. So the next thing that you will have a video call or a live call, probably you will ask, can you push your head side by side? So that you'll know that that is not a deepfake. But you see, it's actually good. However, this deepfake is actually not foolproof, right? Being aware of this deepfake is not foolproof. Now, there is also another ending wherein we can make use of software. So let's take a look how it looks like.
Hey, Eric, Dale, we're pulling in Hopkins to assess the situation. Eric, what do they need to start the investigation?
Okay, that's
We
good,
need to
right?
export all
Not
transaction
only that
data
you
from the
identify
past 6 months.
that these are deepfakes, but the software actually identifies for you that that is deepfakes, which is very good, right? People, process, and technology is a need for us to have this particular protection on our environment. So much for the attacker side. Let me move to our side on our organization. We know that we are using artificial intelligence inside our environment. And as security leaders, we are assigned and tasked for us to identify and understand what are the risks and vectors that we have on this artificial intelligence. They ask you what are the things that we need to concern, are we able to do or adopt the AI on our environment? But these are the things that you need to consider. These are the risks that you have. Now, identifying the risk is hard, but once that you have identified this risk, then you can provide them solution. So let me give you at least 2 solutions or 2 security that you can provide for this artificial intelligence. The first one is, if you have an organization and you don't like them to access artificial intelligence, so you have an AI gateway that actually blocks this access. So simple, right? Block the access. But what if you have an artificial intelligence that is being used by your users, and they can actually do prompting on the artificial intelligence. So what we can do? We can do is, we ask the AI gateway to monitor and even block the responses if that is violating our defined rules. So ibig sabihin, once that they have prompted, that is a sensitive data, then we will block it. So that's the easiest thing that we can do when it comes to providing security on AI that we are leveraging. But we know organizations right now are leveraging our private AI, right? You're building your own private AI. So we know private AIs, no matter what you are calling it, it may be an AI factory, it may be a private cloud, a sovereign AI, whatever it is, I know that you need to secure it and you want to secure it. So what are the security that you need to have? First, you need to have security for your data. You need to have a security as well for your models that you are creating. You need to secure as well the applications that you are using. You also need to secure the usage of your artificial intelligence. And lastly, you need to provide security on your infrastructure. So, because of that, we know that it's hard for us, right? And these new vectors that we have on our environment creates new things on our environment. So that's why Trend Micro is introducing to you our next generation cyber risk management, which is invested through an AI mesh. So Trend Micro actually invested AI mesh. So what is AI mesh? AI mesh is actually a service wherein a common framework has been provided so that both the AI agents and as well as the services can actually communicate rightly. So that's what we call when it comes to AI mesh. And it's actually a new paradigm when it comes to security. And what we need to have when it comes to AI mesh is that we need to have the best of breed of traditional AI and as well as the new agentic AI. So let me just give you a summary when it comes to traditional AI and as well as agentic AI. So traditional AI and agentic AI when it comes to user experience. If you're familiar with chatbots, right? So once you query the chatbot, it will provide you information. It will provide you answers, right? These chatbots is backed up with big data analytics. So that's why they have more data. They can provide you answer, right? But when it comes to agentic AI right now, they can provide you can provide instruction to those AI, and then they create things for you. Let's say, for example, you would like to create a website, or you would like to create a report. So you just ask AI, oh, create a report for me. So that's what we call agentic AI for user experience. So there's a difference. Traditional AI is we use artificial intelligence or the big data analytics as well to identify if there is anomaly or detections on our environment. While agentic AI, we can create playbooks so that they can do responses on the detections that they have. Another thing is for risk mitigation. So risk mitigation for traditional AI, we can identify the behavioral anomalies, probably the risk that we have. But when it comes to agentic AI, we also have cost-benefit analysis and mitigation. Now, having said that, Trend Micro actually have so many solutions being prepared for you. And we spent hours and hours and weeks to identify and talk to customers what are the things that is bugging you, and even the challenge that you have, or even the pain points that you have when it comes to security. And because of that, we identify what are the key solutions that we need to provide to you. We have expanded attack surface, we have automation, we have playbooks, and right now, we already have an AI-driven cyber risk remediation and even the platform that we have. Now, what we have identified is that when it comes to security, doesn't matter if you are a small business, a medium business, and even a large business. You need to have a platform wherein you can do mitigations, wherein you can do investigation, we can do analysis. So having said that, you need to have a platform wherein it can provide you identification of attack surface management, the vulnerability management, compliance, and even having the same platform to do SIEM and SOAR for you. And because of that, the next generation cyber risk management can actually provide you these key things. Number one, you can now take control of the data that you have. Second is you can now blend proactive security with reactive security. And because of this next generation cyber risk management, you can now consolidate SIEM, ASM that you need, the SOAR, and even the XDR that you need on your environment. And lastly, because of this consolidation that we are doing, then we can reduce the operational cost, and as well as we can improve our efficiency when it comes to providing protection on security. So that's what we have when it comes to identifying the attacker's perspective, and as well as how do we do security on our environment. Last key slides that I have. So some key takeaways that I would like you to get from my presentation. Number one, please be prepared when it comes to rogue AI. Again, rogue AI is real. It is here right now, and probably you are encountering it, right? So that's why you need to have a solution, a proactively strategy wherein you can combat this rogue AI. So please be prepared with that. Second thing is embrace the transformation. At the end of the day, everybody is moving to artificial intelligence. If we are not comfortable right now, we need to be comfortable right now because it shapes the things that we have lived and as well as work. So that's why we need to have artificial intelligence being embraced on our technology and our environment. And lastly, we also have platform-wide artificial intelligence mesh or AI mesh. At the end of the day, you need the new toolings when it comes to providing security on your environment. So I hope you have a great time. So that's it for my presentation. I hope you have a good lunch later on and have a nice day. God bless.
Thank you, Jessica Bernardo. Eka, nakakatakot naman yung deepfake mo. Pero talaga nangyayari talaga yan. We have the pros and cons of AI. It is there to impress, amaze, help us. It is a tool that we use, ChatGPT, but it is also the scary side. We do have the hackers. We have the fake news, the rogues, as Eka mentioned earlier. So she mentioned nga, before she went down from the stage, her takeaways was be prepared for the rogue AI because it is here. It can only get better. It will only get scarier. So we have to protect ourselves embrace the transformation. That's the only way to go. And platform-wide AI mesh. Her takeaways: train and empower employees to decipher, to see, to identify new AI threats to cybersecurity. Okay, so what else? Be prepared for rogue AI. Okay, I mentioned that. Deepfakes, reconnaissance, download media, model training. Oh, this is how they do it. The model training, the push deepfake, the phishing email, customization, and data compromise. It has happened even in CNN. I mean, it has happened with one of our anchors. The deepfake siya. So it is there.